Welcome, everybody, to the Dungeons and the Dragons of Neverwinter. Surprising lack of dragons in this game, but for what it lacks in dragons, it certainly makes up for it in other areas. There are lots of dungeons, for one thing, but then there's also this really awesome combat system. And I would say this game, actually, before we continue here, there we go. I'd say this game has some parallels with Guild Wars 2. One of them being the combat system. So Guild Wars tries to have a more action-y combat system, and while I wouldn't say it fails per se, it certainly fails to capitalize on it. It has a few issues, but the main ones being that it's really just trying to take the EverQuest / World of Warcraft style of, you know, you're controlling the game in an MMO way with the skill bar and all that. But it doesn't really work because the controls are just, even with being limited with 8 abilities at any given time, it's still really hard to control. And this game more or less fixes that by giving you a third-person behind the shoulder, not necessarily behind the shoulder, but behind the back camera controls. This is actually a pretty standard setup for most 3-dimensional action games on the PC. And it works really well here. As you can see on the bottom here, the binds Q, E, and R. It's a standard WASD movement setup. And those are the standard binds. It works really, really well. And the other thing is, if you haven't been able to tell yet, the hits just look really good, and the sound and the visual effects really, really add to the combat of this game, to the feel of it. It's really nice, especially the ragdoll physics. This here is more or less a node to gather crafting materials from. As it said, I needed a kit, and I had a 75% chance. There's one type of node that is 100% chance, and I don't need a kit for it. That's the Dungeoneering node. There's an Arcana node, and if you were a Control Wizard? Yeah, Control Wizard. You'd have a 100% chance of that, but you would need a kit for Dungeoneering nodes. There's a religious one, and if you're a cleric, obviously you'd be able to pick from that. So I'm, as you can see, level 26. There are 60 levels, and I've only been playing for a few days now. I would say leveling is about as fast, relatively speaking, as Guild Wars 2, which is pretty nice. Gosh, I love doing that. The ragdoll physics are pretty good. Like, everything comes together pretty well. Another parallel between this game and Guild Wars 2 are the dungeons. Now, Guild Wars 2's dungeons are really meh. Like, really, really boring. there's kind of like one really good way to do any dungeon, and straying from that just makes it all slower. There's just nothing really to them. You corner an NPC and do your thing. You do your little rotation. In this game, it's largely the same, but for whatever reason, the dungeons, or as they're called here, skirmishes, are a lot more fun. And I think a lot of that just has to do with the execution of the combat. Although I will say this, Guild Wars 2's classes are more interesting. It does get a little boring here. These are new enemies to me. You are actually limited to 8 abilities here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I have this tab thing here, which is... I don't even use it. All it does is mark the enemies like that, and I think weakens them a bit. But there's no real reason to do that outside of dungeons. And even in dungeons, I don't know, it feels a bit clunky. And yes, I do realize that I haven't spent my points on leveling. I will get to that after this quest. I should also mention that I've been using a lot of the same abilities since level 1. And I kind of almost look exactly the same as I did at level 1, which is a bit disappointing. Also, you can... Oh, I missed. God damn it. Where are you going, man? Get over here. Yeah. My gold. One thing I will say, it's the F key to loot and such, but sometimes it's not obvious as to what can be F keyed and what will just automatically go into your inventory when you walk over it, over the item that dropped. Also, the F key is also the same key that in MMOs you can right-click on people. I'll show you here. That. It brings up that. When you are in a dungeon, that's real fucking annoying. That's something that... Actually, Guild Wars 2 does kind of suffer from the same issue. Heal bot. I'll talk about that in a moment. It suffers from the same issue, but it's with NPCs and not other players.
We must be eternally
You're trying to loot
vigilant
something,
over the
but
graves
then
of the
you're
departed.
talking with a person. It's like, I don't want to talk to you. I want my goddamn loot.
The dissolution. Thank you.
You're welcome.
The Red Wizards are using some of the newly
Red Wizards are hungry.
skeletons to excavate bones and relics from Popper's Field. The undead are then transporting these items through a southern gate to a very old portion of Neverdeath. We need to find out where these bone pullers are going and why.
The slight issue with the mouths is that it's completely independent from the rest of the body, so it just looks really weird. It's like they're just flapping their mouths up and down.
Watch over you. For years, the lynching tree was the site of choice.
Oh, that's nice.
Summary justice. Many despicable criminals are
Come
interred
here.
beneath its
Come
roots.
to the more
So
beautiful
are many
graveyard.
innocent souls
Here's-
who were wrongly
Here's
accused
the lynching
and
tree.
unjustly
Isn't it
executed.
beautiful?
As a result, the area near the tree is infused with an evil spiritual energy. Valindra's Thayan wizards have found a way to tap into this energy and are using it to fuel
I'll get a
ritual.
Professions special
Acolyte
pack.
Naaman believes a ritual.
That's nice. You can stop talking now, because I don't care. Well, the writing and dialogue in the game, kinda meh. The voice acting varies a lot. Usually it's kind of bad to meh.
Whatever it takes. A hop will
Anywho,
do.
here is a bonfire. Bonfires, so you don't heal naturally unless you're a cleric or you have health potions. So you have these places that will serve as checkpoints and also healing spots, so you can't rest on your own. Up here is invocation. This allows you to basically pray to your god that you chose at the beginning of the game when you created your character. I forget what god I'm aligned with, but I don't think it really matters that much. But when you do pray, you gain a buff. Gambler's Fortune. It's a random one. I've gotten ones that buff my damage, buff my healing rates. They're pretty small, but, you know, it's nice. You get a potion, some rough astral diamonds, and experience points. And I will refine my rough astral diamonds into actual astral diamonds. This is just here to artificially limit how much you can gain per day. I guess as a way, as like a gate to make sure that if there are any exploits or something, they can make sure that nothing too horribly bad happens. And this is like the main currency of the game. This is what you generally trade with players. Money is mostly just for potions and kits for gathering items. You can also buy new companions, which is the cleric that's following me, Elisa. Zen is the real money stuff. Now you can, as it says on the tooltip, you can trade Astral Diamond for Zen and vice versa at the Zen Exchange, which is this thing. This is it's a slightly confusing menu at first, but I think once you get the hang of it, it's pretty obvious. I have not even messed with this. Also, Zen is across any perfect world game. So if you can earn a lot of Zen here, then you can probably earn, you can probably take that into other games. As far as what's in the market, it's mostly just, you can buy bags, but it's mostly cosmetic stuff. There's some companions, some are unique. You get kobold. There's a really nice honey badger, that's pretty cool. It's like a torchlight pet, I like that, it's pretty nice. Wolf, words, these actually buff your companion. I don't know if you can earn them in the game, but you get one for free. Profession booster packs, services, etc, etc. And you have these keys, enchanted keys. These are for this, locked boxes. This is like in most free-to-play games these days. But you can actually see what you'll what you have a chance at getting right here. A heavy Inferno Nightmare, which is this thing. Every once in a while there will be an admin message saying this person has unlocked the Heavy Inferno or some bullshit like that. but you need to buy a key, and there's no way to earn the key, unlike in Guild Wars 2, where you can actually earn the keys. But what's in the boxes are
Cult
pretty
of the
meh.
Dragon's been hiring mercenaries to build up their ranks. They even hired a bunch of my men right out from under my command. Of course, since those men broke their contracts, that means I could hire someone to teach them the price of disloyalty. In fact, I have a position open right now.
Okay. Oh, and leveling. We should probably do that. So, this is the U menu, the unlocks menu. This shows up whenever a new feature is unlocked to you, etc., etc. It's pretty nice. So, you'll also gain quests through this thing that'll take you directly to like the companion trainers and show you where the stores are and all that. It's a pretty nice system. I do think it could be a little better. Like they could tuck away some things that are not available to you a little better, because some things did confuse me. An example are these enchantment things. If you click on them, it brings up this menu, but you can actually enchant items through this. What you need is an item with a slot like this, but you don't see those until level 20 or so. Oops. Anywho, so these are all abilities. Some of them are passive, some of them can be slotted. One thing I will say is that it is not obvious that you can actually drag these onto your skill bar. More or less have everything here upgraded that I want upgraded. I think so. So I'll go with this. This is a passive. And these are all actives. Here are the feats. These are basically like general buffs to your character. So here I gain action points faster when guarding, when using guarding attacks. This one increases my damage of the of my at-will powers, which I believe are these. No? No, that's my at-will. So these are like my left mouse button and right mouse button.
Whatever it takes, a hopper will do.
And then these are, I guess, encounters, and then dailies. It's an unfortunate name. Basically, you build up this these points, and when you fill this dice up, you can use either one of these abilities. It's a decent system, I guess. I'm not sure which one to go for here.
Whatever it takes, a hopper will do.
I think I'll go with this for now. Because I know I'll want that. But yeah, here's my left attack. I can just hold this down. As you can see, I move forward with each hit. So the game's pretty good at keeping you in place, or keeping you next to the enemies that you're fighting, which is very nice. You can't move around, you're not super mobile, but you don't really need to be as a tank. And then here's my right attack.
Working conditions for a scholar.
Oh shush. So we'll just follow my golden little trail there. You can toggle that off. Whoa, whoa, itchy. With the key, it's by default on Z. The downside to that, though, is it's not always obvious where you would need to go if you don't have the golden trail. So the game is kind of built with it in mind. It's a bit laggy here. No effects. I will say that there is a lot of variety in the enemies. Like here, these are all new to me. Most of the enemies that I fought so far are humanoid, which is nice. No rats. Spiders, and I fought thieves spiders, which was interesting. Oh my goodness. Drist here is kicking some ass. And although I don't know a ton about Dungeons and Dragons in general, I still have a thing. Oh, this reward box. Fucking hell. You get this, as you can see, every 5 levels or so? Or something like that. I guess this unlocks at level 32, so... changes every once in a while. God, I don't even have room anymore. Can I? Nope. Whatever, I don't need a portable altar. These basically work as bonfires, except they don't work as actual checkpoints. They're just places to heal and worship. I do want to keep these scrolls. So... oh, I can accept this quest.
Adventurer, you have picked up no mere
Who was talking to me?
but the phylactery of Zarafrax, all-powerful lich. Now, prepare for a battle of wills for your belly! You know, I'm really just not into this. Let me be upfront with you. I'm tired of the epic battle of good against evil. I was controlling that undead you destroyed, so I could find a nice, quiet spot where my phylactery won't be disturbed for a few hundred years. You seem a capable sort. How about I offer you...
okay, this is actually pretty interesting.
Find the rest of
Some more fun dialogue compared to what I usually encounter here. What I've usually been encountering, and as you can see here, lots of unidentified items. The majority of the items that drop are unidentified by default, which is a little annoying. This is actually better, so I'm going to put that. Keep what I have on now. I should have sold my stuff. And also, unless you identify it, it doesn't sell for much. This is especially annoying in dungeons when something drops. Because you don't know if it'll be better, because there's more than one guardian. Everything is... so as you can see at the very bottom of the tooltip, it says requires class guardian fighter. Everything is class specific. This requires for you to be a devoted cleric, etc., etc. Not terrible, but a little annoying. Okay. You do have inventory overflow, but it's for specific stuff. And as you can see, my bags are getting a little cramped. You get bags through quests, but I don't know what all the quests are. They're not obvious, and I think I actually missed a quest. That would have given me a bag. And if I go into my journal here, I have a level 14 and level 16 quest, and I'm sure these are chains, so I'll have to go back and do them at some point. Here are achievements, and then this is lore. You can collect things within the world that'll fill this out. I don't personally care for this, but for those that do, this is kind of neat. And you can miss the that stuff if you're not careful. I'll also say that, mind the Neverwinter logo there. There's a way to completely toggle off with Alt and F12, and then you can do that. I'll say that this game definitely has some atmosphere and some nice looking areas. Let me toggle back on, there we go. The crafting in this game, since I brought up professions, here it is. Actually, I have 2 tasks complete. This is really poorly done. It's not fun, it's not interesting, and I'm still on level 2 with platesmithing. And the best item I could create is still level 9. Level 4, I'll be able to make level 20 stuff. Finally. But, like, even the plate shirt is like level 9. What the hell? I don't get this. It does give you yourself extra experience points and some other extra stuff like astral diamonds occasionally, but for the most part, I'm not seeing the point. I have been keeping up with it, and a friend of mine has also been keeping up with it, and she is in the exact same place as I am with this. God damn it. It's N. It's leadership 3 and then platesmithing 2. Except for her, it's male smithing or something. I have no clue if there's kill stealing in this game. But most people haven't been too upset with me for getting into their fights. And the respawns are so fast that it's hard to complain. I'm going, since I'm here, since the sparkly path is taking me. Oh, sell. What's up? What's up?
As a Harper representative, I hear...
Oh. This person gives out quests that are within this area, I think. These are all player created. So there's this thing called the Foundry, and it's something that Cryptic has
the only thing worth
has been into with a lot of their games. I'll keep that. I don't like regeneration, so screw that. With, you know, player-created content. And I feel like this game does it the best. Their tool set is obviously far superior than anything they've done so far. And the few quests that I've done have been pretty cool. I also usually prefer the writing, even though it does have errors and tends to be a bit more sloppy. It's at least a lot more interesting. If for nothing else, a lot of it does ignore the fact that this is Dungeons and Dragons. Screw it. This is a little better, actually. So, going to that. And it has a slot on it. What slot is it? It's an offense slot. Sweet. I will equip this definitely. I think that's my. Yeah. You can trade these with other players, by the way. These Nightmare Lock boxes. I should just sell these portable altars. Engineering kit. I don't need dungeoneering kits. Let's see, it can sort automatically, which is nice. You are taking damage and in danger. Well, that's just a bummer for me, isn't it? What's on those? It's a utility slot. I'm not sure what a utility slot is. I'll list with that later. That's, you know, using these things. I'm not sure how the keys work. I don't think they work on those. I don't know. I'll just sell it. It's taking up space. And that'll be that for now. Okay. Let's get going. I should say that to explain this, I'll just queue something up. So this will take 10 minutes. I put a miner there, start task, and it goes for like 10 minutes, and I can finish it faster by spending astral. I see no reason to do that. Maybe you're supposed to, but fuck that.
This desecration of the dead is hateful to me.
Healbot, yes. So, at level 15 you get a companion, which is very nice. Since I can't heal myself, it was a pretty obvious choice. What are you doing? To get a cleric companion. And as everybody who is not a cleric also goes with the cleric companion. The one major downside to this is that, as you saw back there, you can't really customize the look of your companion. Now, you can choose a skin, but that just changes armor. Or, more accurately, you can choose your armor. And you can also customize the name, obviously, and this name that I gave her personally. This doesn't change your looks, but it changes some of her stats. And as far as I know, you can't change her skills here. You can also see her stats. You can't put armor on her or anything like that, as far as I know, aside from just whatever you get here. You can't even change the color of it. Begin training, all that does, it'll just send her off. After I'll show you. This will take her 1 hour and 5 minutes, or I can rush it. But I'm not going to do that just yet. That'll boost your stats and all that. I don't need to do that right now. I usually do that after I log off for the night, and I'm not going to play again for a little bit. Ooh, spooky. Alright, this, oh god, what? Yeah, take it. Alright, are we done? Can we do this? I'm also a giant now.
No,
Shrieking.
The Doom Guides have been here. I can still feel the smug sanctimoniousness of the rituals radiating from the very stone.
This person sounds like they're doing a Mark Hamill impression.
Anyway, I, for one, blame Tilly. There was a common death. Of course, Paul and Merkel had their qualities too. But I'm rambling. It's time.
Alright. There's variety in the environments as well. Like even here, like it looks different from the other side, which is pretty cool. everything is sectioned off. It's all instance. So it's not like a one big continuous world, which kind of makes sense, I guess. It's kind of how D&D is, in a way. But occasionally it does feel like you're in it. Of course they go after her. Yeah. Just love getting those big heavy hits in. Alright.
No, no, no. This location is even worse. The thieves would surely find my phylactery here. Then I'd either have to tutor some young power-mad necromancer, or become a lackey of Zastam, or end up trying to reason with Valindra's
See, I don't know who Zastam is.
I respect Valindra's dedication to evil, but that woman is simply not right in the head.
D&D nerd humor. It's all above me. Alright. This person is very piggy. Whoa. Whoa, 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 whoa. That was weird. Now, you can't jump down there if you want to. You'll die. I went down there, but not on purpose. Not out of curiosity. Alright. Oh, here we go.
What have they done to this place? This would have been a perfect location. Command view of the stonework, and now look at it. Ruined.
His voice seems lower than the rest of the game, but that might be just because I don't have the audio up high on my end.
That doesn't. I've been searching for the perfect spot for a decade, and apparently there's no quiet place left on all Faroon. Where is it? Come down. Take me to a good guy. Let them destroy me. I don't want to unlive on this planet anymore.
Aww. I mean this plane, right? That's how it works, right? I don't really know. That's pretty good. So far that's my favorite quest. Or this is my favorite quest, rather. What am I doing? Skeletons, right. I think that's a dungeoneering node. I love skeletons. I have a real thing for living skeletons, animated skeletons. There we go. Yeah, dungeoneering skill. And we get all this. Let's see. It's not what I wanted. I wanted the map. There we go. There's a fire up here. Well, hello there. When you're inside personal instances / dungeons, or even like 5-person dungeons, there are like a lot of little hidden areas and little things. And oh, there we go. Hidden behind gates and such, which is pretty cool. But I don't think maybe it's as well as fleshed out as maybe it could. Well, glitchy log, as fleshed out as maybe it could be. Like, they're obviously trying to have a little fun with the level design, but it doesn't go far enough. Oh yeah. Skeleton Slayer. Kinda wish they broke apart a little better, skeletons. Also, in case you're wondering, I am playing as a tiefling, which is like a demon race, and I absolutely love their name. It's like a name of a cutesy Final Fantasy creature. It's kind of inappropriate, but I like it. So this is one of the more tedious quests so far. Usually, actually, the quests here have been probably the most kill this. Wow, I'm completely missing. Usually better to take out the lackeys, so long as they're not going to be resummoned. Yeah. Again, the feel of this, feel the combat. Red Wizard! I love that we're trying to find the red wizards? The red wizard, the red wizards. Also another kind of annoying thing is that the enemies will follow you for quite a ways. It's like they... Sometimes it seems like they don't even leash after a while. It's a bit annoying when you just want to, Red Wizard. Hello, Red Wizard. It can be a little annoying to get around when you just want to turn in a quest. And down you go. Whee! That... Where did the rocks come from? Okay. I don't think we need to kill another one. Kinda... can I? Oh yeah. Chick... Oh. Okay, there we go. Lisa seems to be having a little trouble keeping up. She used to be very, very strong and sturdy, but these days she gets knocked out pretty quickly. But a lot of that also has to do with the fact that the game, instead of throwing like 3 or 4 enemies at me, will now throw like 2 very strong enemies or 2 like mid-tier enemies, and then like a bunch of minions. And the minions will typically go after Alyssa there. Alright, let's turn in.
Kellenvor watch over you. By Kellenvor's blade! This is the phylactery of a lich, a powerful undead mage. It is a miracle it did not try to consume your very soul. We Doomguides strive to destroy the undead, but for one this powerful, that may not be possible. Fortunately, we've constructed an impenetrable vault in a secure location, which can safely hold such evils for centuries.
Aren't we fancy?
That's what it takes. Curious. I'd swear the spirit within seems to be laughing. It must be mad. No matter. We shall imprison it without delay.
Okay.
We must be eternally vigilant over the... It sounds like the Red Wizards are attempting to create a powerful, undead creature deep in Neverdeath.
I feel like I could have just told you that. So what would the wizards be doing? I don't know, summoning a giant creature? It's what evil wizards probably do, right?
We must stop what is happening in Craftsman's Rest.
Okay.
The purple-clad intruders in Craftsman's Rest are well known to the Harpers.
Purple-clad?
They are members of the Cult of the Dragon, a group dedicated to
At least they
restoring
have
control
style,
of the
I
world
guess.
to dragon overlords. Whatever brings them here, we can be certain it bodes no good for Neverwinter. The Cult of the Dragon does not usually operate so openly. Defeat them and
Okay.
search them for orders. If you can collect enough,
And
I should be able
enemies
to
will
crack their
generally
code.
keep on talking after you select the quest, which is nice. It seems a little inconsistent when it does
Have
that,
I
though.
told you I'm a genius?
Yes, you have. About 5 times.
Good day. Christopher Chettlebell, Neverwinter's preeminent historian at your service. I am currently in the employ of Zami Monini, of the Black Lake Moninis. Miss Monini hired me to perform research into her family's history. While we were inspecting the family
I
crypts
really
in Craftsman's
fucking hate
Rest,
you.
we
But
were
you
set
have a
upon
nice
by
shield.
uncouth hooligans in purple robes.
Uncouth humans.
I managed to escape, but Miss Monini was less fortunate. No ransom demand has been put forth,
Alright,
so I
alright,
fear for my
okay.
employer and my income. You must rescue her.
Have to do all kinds of things. Meh. That'll do. So, that's Neverwinter. For now. Probably create more videos here and there. So, as always, thanks for watching. Take care.
All beings should walk free.
Guild Wars 2's classes are more interesting. It does get a little boring here. These are new enemies to me. You are actually limited to 8 abilities here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Then I have this tab thing here, which is... I don't even use it. All it does is mark the enemies like that, and I think weakens them a bit. But there's no real reason to do that outside of dungeons. And even in dungeons, I don't know, it feels a bit clunky. And yes, I do realize that I haven't spent my points on leveling. I will get to that after this quest. should also mention that I've been using a lot of the same abilities since level 1, and I kind of almost look exactly the same as I did at level 1, which is a bit disappointing. Also, you can... Oh, I missed. God damn it. Where are you going, man? Get over here. Yeah. Pick from that. So I'm, as you can see, level 26. There are 60 levels, and I've only been playing for a few days now. I would say leveling is about as fast, relatively speaking, as Guild Wars 2, which is pretty nice. Gosh, I love doing that. The ragdoll physics are pretty good. Like, everything comes together pretty well. Another parallel between this game and Guild Wars 2 are the dungeons. Now, Guild Wars 2's dungeons are really meh. Like, really, really boring. There's kind of like one really good way to do any dungeon, and straying from that just makes it all slower. There's just nothing really to them. You corner an NPC and do your thing. You do your little rotation. In this game, it's largely the same, but for whatever reason, the dungeons, or as they're called here, skirmishes, are a lot more fun. And I think a lot of that just has to do with the execution of the combat. Although I will say this, get my gold. One thing I will say, it's the F key to loot and such, but sometimes it's not obvious as to what can be F keyed and what will just automatically go into your inventory when you walk over it, over the item that dropped. Also, the F key is also the same key that, you know, in MMOs you can right click on people. I'll show you here. That. It brings up that. When you are in a dungeon, that's real fucking annoying. That's something that... Actually, Guild Wars 2 does kind of suffer from the same issue. Heal bot. I'll talk about that in a moment. It suffers from the same issue, but it's with NPCs and not other players.
We must be eternally
You're trying to loot
vigilant
something,
over the
but
graves
then
of the
you're
departed.
talking with a person. It's like, I don't want to talk to you. I want my goddamn loot.
The Thank you.
You're welcome.
The Red Wizards are using some of the newly
Wizards are hungry.
skeletons to excavate bones and relics from Popper's Field. The undead are then transporting these items through a southern gate to a very old portion of Neverdeath. We need to find out where these bone pullers are going, and why.
The slight issue with the mouths is that it's completely independent from the rest of the body, so it just looks really weird. It's like they're just flapping their mouths in behind the shoulder, not necessarily behind the shoulder, but behind the back. Camera controls. This is actually a pretty standard setup for most three-dimensional action games on the PC. And it works really well here. As you can see on the bottom here, the binds Q, E, and R. It's a standard WASD movement setup. And and those are the standard binds. It works really, really well. And the other thing is, if you haven't been able to tell yet, the hits just look really good, and the sound and the visual effects really, really add to the combat of this game, to the feel of it. It's really nice, especially the ragdoll physics. This here is more or less a node to gather crafting materials from. As it said, I needed a kit, and I had a 75% chance. There's one type of node that is 100% chance, and I don't need a kit for it. That's the dungeoneering node. There's an Arcana node, and if you were a Control Wizard? Yeah, Control Wizard. You'd have a 100% chance of that, but you would need a kit for dungeoneering nodes. There's a religious one, and if you're a cleric, obviously you'd be able to. Welcome, everybody, to the Dungeons and the Dragons of Neverwinter. Surprising lack of dragons in this game, but for what it lacks in dragons, it certainly makes up for it in other areas. There are lots of dungeons for one thing, but then there's also this really awesome combat system. And I would say this game, actually, before we continue here, there we go. I'd say this game has some parallels with Guild Wars 2. One of them being the combat system. So Guild Wars tries to have a more action-y combat system, and while I wouldn't say it fails per se, it certainly fails to capitalize on it. It has a few issues, but the main ones being that it's really just trying to take the EverQuest / World of Warcraft style of, you know, you're controlling the game in an MMO way with a skill bar and all that. But it doesn't really work because the controls are just, even with limited being limited with 8 abilities at any given time, it's still really hard to control. And this game more or less fixes that by giving you a third-person